Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer and a subscriber. I'll give you the latest status of the stimulus negotiations. I'll give you some breaking news announcements that are actually coming out of the White House as far as stimulus are concerned. We specifically have an announcement about student loans, so I'll be announcing that. I'll also talk to you about why we have some more new information about why stimulus checks were left out of the $908 billion bipartisan Senate deal. I'll talk to you about some interesting comments made by President-elect Joe Biden and also why our Republican senators finally starting to get behind the stimulus when the president had essentially dismissed state and local aid, which by the way was a big aspect of the stimulus for Democrats as, I quote, a bailout for poorly run democratic states. You definitely want to stick around till the end of this video because I think you're going to learn something new. If you do, please consider clicking the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. Please ignite the notification button after you subscribe because the name of our channel is Ignition Time. Let's just jump right in. On your screen, you'll see a tweet from Michael Stratford. Michael Stratford is the education reporter at Politico, and he reported that the Trump administration is extending federal student loan relief, that is suspension of payments and 0% interest for another month, just for an additional month. But there's something there, right? So until the end of January 2021, this relief was set to expire on December 31st, 2021. So Secretary DeVos has extended student loan forbearance period through January 31st, 2021 in response to the COVID national emergency. Now, you'll see another tweet on your screen from Lisa Desjardins. I hope I pronounced her name right. Lisa is a correspondent for PBS NewsHour, and Lisa reported that essentially Biden did say, and by the way, I actually saw Biden say this live. Biden said that I think the COVID deal would be better if there were $1,200 checks in it. I understand that that may still be in play. Now, I don't want us to celebrate about this because I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's unlikely that there'll be $1,200 stimulus checks. That's number one. Number two, Biden is the president-elect. He's not the president. So he really has no powers at this moment in time. All he can comment on is stuff that he's hearing from senators and from congressmen. That's pretty much the extent of it. And he can make these public proclamations of support for stimulus, but there's nothing else he can do. I just want to be clear about that. Let me be clear. President-elect Biden could have the best intentions in the world, could want whatever he wants, but that's not going to result in a stimulus bill that's drafted by the House and the Senate and passed by the House and the Senate. That becomes law in the near future, meaning signed by the President Trump. So again, we can look at what President-elect Biden is saying, but unfortunately, he can't really do anything. And so here's another tweet on your screen from Lisa, and she wrote that the view from the Hill, view from DC, is that number one, direct payments are not in the deal, because Republicans will only pass something with a lower total cost. That's number one. And number two, they were passed in the CARES Act because President Trump, this is important, President Trump wanted checks with his signature in people's mailboxes. That is what Lisa is reporting. I mean, look, guys, don't blame the messenger. This is what Lisa is reporting, that they were passed in the CARES Act because President Trump wanted checks with his signature in people's mailboxes. Wow. And basically, unless something changes, here's another tweet on your screen from Lisa, unless something changes dramatically as far as the Republican Party is concerned, adding the $1,200 stimulus checks could easily collapse the entire deal altogether right now. Yep, that's what she said. Now, here's an interesting tweet on your screen from Dan Price. And Dan is essentially an author of a book, Worth It. And this is what Dan wrote. Pretty interesting. Just to recap, number one, the Fed pumped an extra $3.2 trillion into the stock market. Number two, as a result, stocks soared to record highs. Number three, executives essentially got stock-based bonuses paid for by the government, but giving money to regular people would be, he quotes, too socialist. And in some reporting from the Washington Post, you'll see the headline of the article, why are Republicans moving towards a stimulus check? Here's a clue. Now, keep in mind, President Trump has talked about a bailout for badly run blue states. The article, that is the Washington Post article, asks, should we refer to this as a bailout for red states? Yes. Now, keep in mind, I personally don't even like discussing this. I'm simply quoting an article because, we look at many different resources. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. But here's some interesting information that's actually pointed out by the Washington Post. Basically, what the Washington Post is saying is that this COVID crisis is a deepening national disaster. I'll quote from the article. COVID is surging in dozens of states, both both blue and red. Similarly, many states across the country, both red and blue, are facing serious revenue shortfalls that are related to the economic downturn as a direct result of COVID. Republicans in particular had been reluctant to do anything for state and local funding, anything major anyway. But now Republicans are starting to come around and say, hey, let's include state and local government funding. In fact, the red states, or the reddish states, according to the Washington Post, that are actually facing revenue shortfalls include Alaska, North Dakota, Louisiana, Iowa, and Florida. Not only that, Wyoming is also included in this list, as well as North Carolina. The Republican senators who are now backing the $908 billion bipartisan Senate proposal include Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, Kevin Cramer from North Dakota, Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, Chuck Grassley and Johnny Ernst from Iowa, Marco Rubio from Florida, and Thom Tillis from North Carolina. Do you see a commonality there? Again, let's go back to the states that are actually really struggling. The states that are struggling are Alaska, that's Lisa Murkowski. North Dakota, we have Kevin Cramer. Louisiana, we have Bill Cassidy. Iowa, we have Chuck Grassley and we have Joni Ernst. Florida, we have Marco Rubio. And North Carolina, we have Thom Tillis. Now, there are other Republican senators who are actually supporting this emerging compromise, this $908 billion bipartisan COVID relief bill. These include Shelley Moore Capito from West Virginia, Mitt Romney from Utah, Roy Blunt from Montana, and John Cornyn from Texas. Now, keep in mind also, here's another big factor. The election is now over. So since the election is over, the re-election message for months for the president was that the pandemic is behind us. But at this point in time, since the election is over, and since the results of the election are going to be certified very soon on the 14th of December, I think Republicans are saying, hey, let's just look at the actual extent of the pandemic. Which, it's really bad. It hasn't recovered. We haven't recovered. There's a second wave. There's a third wave. There are shutdowns all over the country. We need help now, and states and local governments need help now. Speaking of needing help now, here's an article on your screen that was published by Bloomberg. Biden laments grim November jobs data in push for new stimulus. So the president-elect expresses hope for a deal despite slow progress, and he did say that $1,200 stimulus checks would be best. But I did mention at the start of this video that his hands were essentially tied. This is what President-elect Biden said, and I'm quoting, "It shows an economy that is stalling." He was referring to the jobs report today. But it doesn't have to stay that way. If we act now, and by now I mean now, we can begin to regain momentum and start to build back a better future. There's no time to lose. And so President-elect Biden did acknowledge that the unemployment rate dropped to 6.7%, but added that it was deeply troubling that the decline was driven by people dropping out of the labor market. I want you folks to check out the video that I did earlier today talking about the new permanent unemployed. The labor force participation rate in the country has gone down, and as a result, we now have a situation where almost 4 million of our fellow Americans have stopped working or stopped looking for work because their lives have been upended by the pandemic, not because they decided not to work, but because they had no other choice. We're talking about caretakers of children, caretakers of the elderly, just to give you two examples. President-elect Biden also said he was confident that Congress would pass, I quote, "a serious package to keep us from going off the edge." But he did say, the last thing I'm going to do is tell you strategically how I'm going to go about this. So he did say that he did endorse $1,200 stimulus checks, but suggested that a lesser amount would not be a deal breaker. He said, if you insist on everything, you're likely to get nothing. If you insist on everything, you're likely to get nothing. In fact, let's take a look at some comments from President-elect Biden. In this particular clip, he was specifically asked about the extent of the stimulus that he would do, and he said he actually commented on, I quote, hundreds of billions of dollars in stimulus, and he also highlighted the limits of his executive powers. Let's roll the tape and let's watch.
Do you at all plan to pass trillions of dollars of aid? Is that what you have in mind when you say we need to go big, or are we looking at billions of dollars?
We're looking at hundreds of billions of dollars. Look, again, I've learned after hanging around in this business for a while, the last thing you do before you begin a negotiation is lay down a drop-dead marker. And if it's not this, I'm not going to talk to you. I think there's a lot we can get done. And I think people are going to see the overwhelming necessity. What's going to start to happen is a lot of folks who represent Republican districts are going to find their Republican neighbors are in real trouble as things get worse. They're going to find that there's an overwhelming need as these numbers skyrocket. You remember my saying that I believe the experts we'd had at least another 250 dead before the end of the year. And they went, oh, no, all right. Guess what? Look what's happening. It's going to get much worse. It's going to get much worse. And so I believe that there are enough Republicans who will join enough Democrats in the United States Senate to get a majority, along with the House to get it done. But we'll see. We'll see. This is a step at a time.
And on executive orders?
Well, I'd issue executive orders that are totally within the purview of an executive. But one of the things I don't like is I don't like people saying that I can, by executive order, do the following things, which there's no basis in the Constitution to suggest it can be done. So there are certain things I can do. I can issue executive orders pulling back some of the executive orders that Trump put forward. But I can't issue an executive order saying we're going to spend X billion dollars on this issue without getting a Congress appropriates and is responsible for distributing that money.
Now, here's another segment of the discussion with Biden that I personally found very interesting. President-elect Biden said that the administration has diminished confidence in the vaccine, and he wanted to essentially help the public regain trust in the vaccine. He wants individuals to feel comfortable about taking the vaccine. He said it will be, I quote, free and available. Some interesting comments from President-elect Biden about the importance of the distribution of the vaccine. President-elect Biden also said that he has seen no plan from the administration in another clip about how the vaccine will actually get distributed. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Also, one more thing before I show you the final clip from President-elect Biden. Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, who's an important lawmaker from Louisiana, was specifically interviewed today on Fox Business, and he said this is not a stimulus package, it is a relief package. He did say we might come back and do something bigger down the road, but he did say again that this was essentially something that, he also said that this was something the president would support. He said that the president said he would support $908 billion. And then Bill Cassidy said that the president essentially went back and said, I support the McConnell plan. But he said the McConnell plan is not going to go forward. It's simply not going to go forward because it is not going to get support from House Democrats. And he's right. He said that Bill Cassidy from Louisiana said that the $908 billion stimulus plan is the only plan that has a chance of getting to the desk of the president to be signed. He actually said that today on Fox Business. And so that's where things stand, everybody. Let's roll the tape and see some important comments from President-elect Biden about the importance of regaining or the importance of establishing public trust in the vaccine. Let's roll the tape and let's watch.
And then quickly on the coronavirus vaccine, you talked about getting it into African American and vulnerable populations. You said yourself that you're willing to get the vaccine publicly to get people to feel safe. But there are people already telling me, well, President-elect Biden has good health care. If there's some complications, he might have better health care than me, African Americans around the country. What more can you do to convince people that the vaccine is safe for them? And does that mean you'll at all lean on any existing members of the Corona Task Force? I know that you have committed to keeping Dr. Fauci, but is there Dr. Birx? Is there anyone else that you might be leaning on to convince people?
There are a lot of people I'm looking to convince people in the task force, and the task force will continue to be expanded with really fine people. And look, I think actions of presidents matter. And I'm going to say something that I think the African American community, Latino community have known I've never misrepresented anything to them. And that if, as you all keep pointing out, I'm the oldest president ever elected, although I'm actually only 47. But all kidding aside, I think that my taking the vaccine and people seeing me take that vaccine is going to give some confidence. But I said early on, you may remember, I think you may have asked me the question, I may be mistaken. But I said early on that I think one of the things that bothers me the most is by the wild assertions the administration was making about how this was going to go away and inject bleach and all those kinds of things. It was diminishing confidence across the board and the American people overall, but particularly in this administration with the African American Latino community. What I hear from my friends in the community, not but blocks from here as we stand, is that we're not going to be the guinea pigs. We're not going to be the guinea pigs. Well, the fact of the matter is that they won't be. You're going to see tens of millions of Americans taking the vaccine, and you're going to see the President of the United States and 3 of the 4 living former presidents doing it publicly as well. It's all about, and look, it's going to take some effort to rebuild confidence in science because it's been so diminished in this administration thus far. So, but I will, and by the way, in the meantime, I got to make sure that the vaccine is both free and available, and that any follow-up on the vaccine is free and available that relates to any health complications from it. So there's ways we can deal with some of these issues. Biden has good health care, therefore, but I don't have good health care. That's another thing we're working on from day one. I've been working on it at this moment. And so my hope is that we can reinstill some confidence in to be able to believe the President of the United States when he or she speaks.
That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending some time on our channel. Let me know what you think about President-elect Biden's comments, what you think about the fact that there are no $1,200 stimulus checks, as well as all the comments from Republicans who are now starting to get behind the $908 billion stimulus relief plan. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. Thank you so much for giving me a couple of minutes from your day. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. We work very hard on this channel to try and present you with the news. So all I ask is you please click like, please ignite that subscribe button, please ignite that notification button. That would mean a lot to me. That would be your vote of support in us, and that really helps out the YouTube algorithm. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. Get your cell phone out, do something fun. Send us a text message with the word ignition or with the word time. Get your cell phone out. You can do it right now. See, it'll only take a second. Get your cell phone out, type out the text message ignition or time, and send it to 70,000. That's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list. You'll get breaking news and alerts, and if I ever release a program, you'll be the first to know, because it's only a small community that's going to get the opportunity to further work with us, and you have the option to opt out of the SMSs at any point in time that you want. You can also, if you want, get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you can get added to our email list. Now you can opt out of the emails at any point in time that you want. There's absolutely no worries about that. Keep in mind, you can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. Be one of the cool cats following us on Instagram. So we release a lot of fun content specifically for our Instagram followers. Speaking of cool cats, breaking news is something you can get from us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter to get exclusive breaking news alerts from us right on Twitter, and then you'll be able to engage with us on Twitter as well. Now, speaking of engagement, sometimes, because YouTube is not perfect, well, what's perfect? Nothing is. Sometimes because YouTube is not perfect, they don't release notifications as soon as we release the videos. So there's a simple solution. You want to know what it is? It's super simple. Just bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. Yep. Just bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. And then you'll be able to visit the homepage of our channel anytime you want. You can visit it every moment of the day. You can visit it, in the morning while you're having a cup of coffee, while you're eating lunch, while you're having dinner. When you wake up in the middle of the night, you can check out the channel. So you can check out our channel at any point in time that you want, and then you won't miss a single video. As always, if you learn something new from this video, please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications, please share the video with friends and family. This way we can grow our community, and that does tell the YouTube algorithm that you found the content valuable. Also, comment below. Our community is intelligent, it's engaging, it's growing, it's hyperactive, it's bipartisan, it's respectful. So participate with us in our community. And on a final note, you'll always find a link to all of our resources in the description section below. This way you can dig deeper into the content at any point in time that you want. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.